Hey, how's it going, guys? Let's see. We're going to be taking a look at a Filebase issue with our search thing that we were working on yesterday. What does fixing Filebase bugs mean? It means we are going to take a look at some issues that we have with our plugin, and we're just going to fix some of them live. One of them is this search feature that we have. There's an issue with the plural of search, so we're going to fix it. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Hey, how's it going, Tom? Let's see. Let's see here. Get the chat open. Cool. Hey, how's it going, Alan? Let's see. Let me get this chat over to the side here. All right, and let me switch these over. Let's do. I'm gonna remove this overlay. Awesome, Clay. Yeah. So our plugin Filebase just has some minor issues that we want to fix before adding some new features to it. A big thing we're exploring right now is a big audio integration into Filebase, but we want to make sure that we have everything else pretty squared away first. Let me see here. I think I can make that big. I could. All right, so let's see. All right, so basically, one of the problems that we have, if I go into Unity here and take a look at this, the thing that we're fixing here is this plural issue. If I type in gun, and then if I type in guns, I get this. All right. And part of it is due to this search term. So what we're in the process here of doing is breaking down this massive ternary operator so that we can actually understand the logic, find the issue, and then we'll reconstruct it again. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to just restart on this just so it makes more sense. Okay. So here's the original working one where basically we have the products results of the search. Go ahead and paste that here. And then here we basically say, hey, the result, and this is an array of products, okay? So that result, and what I'm doing is I'm searching through every product, and I'm basically checking for conditions against the search term. So we need to basically reconstruct this. How does it feel to be educating so many thousands of people and to, in some cases, change people's lives? It feels pretty good. Let's see here. Okay, so I have this is a link operation that has ternary operators, and it's so confusing. But from an efficiency standpoint, this is probably how we should keep it. But what we need to do so that we can understand and find the bug is we need to deconstruct this to its simplest form, which is just if statements. Find the bug, and then we'll reconstruct it again. All right, so here, where the current product, and now we're checking for a condition here. All right, and we're checking for multiple conditions. We have ors and ands going on here. I need to break this down to find out what the hell it is that we're actually, looking for here. So let me see. Let's see here. We have product values where x goes to. And we're going to break this down. So here I'm checking for a conditional statement of if category equals all assets, or if category, or if the parent category equals assets. And if that's true, then this is what we're gonna. Then we have like an embedded ternary operator here. Else we're gonna say, hey, the categories exist. Y name equals that category. All right. I'm not sure 100% what the hell is going on here, so we need to deconstruct this down to its smallest form. But to do this here, we're gonna say, okay, so where X, and we have to understand that X, if I highlight over this, X is a product. All right. So it's like a for each loop of all the products. We're on a product, and every product has information about it. So every product has things like a category, I believe. Let me see here. Yes, every product, and I believe it should have a category within here. I don't see it. Okay, yeah, so every product has a list of categories. And then it also has a list of what we identify as a tag. And if you look here, and every category has an ID and a name. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so let's understand what's actually happening here. So for each product, right, and we're just gonna break this so that we can read it. We're gonna say here, for each product, if the current category of that product, right? So here we're checking to see if the category that was passed in. And actually, let's go ahead here. Let's get the results before I break anything. Let's actually get the values of what the category I passed in is, as well as what the parent category is, the child category, and the actual search term. Because all those things are going to help us debug this. So let's go ahead here. I'm just going to say debug.log. I need to know the actual category. So here we are in Asset Manager. And this is the query. And we're going to grab the category. And actually, we're going to do this. It's going to be easier if we do it this way. So we use the new C# 6.0 syntax. And here we're saying Asset Manager query, and I want the category. So here we're going to go ahead and say category. And we'll pass in the category. And then we have the parent category. All right, and we'll grab the parent. And then we also need to know the child category. And let me see here, child category. I'm just gonna break down to a new line. And here we're gonna go ahead and say child category. And then lastly, we have actually our search term. So here we're just gonna go for search. And let me break this down. Oh, it doesn't like being on a separate line. That's annoying. Unless I were to append another string to it. That's fine. We're gonna just do it in one long line then. All right, so here we go. So here we have our child category. That's gonna be our child category. And then finally, we're gonna have our search term. So here we have our search. Let's see here. What would you say that is the most important influential programming project you've ever been a part of? Ooh, great question. What would you say the most important influential programming project I've ever been a part of? That's a great question. You know, sadly, I've never done applications for things like nonprofits or charities, which I wish, today, looking back, I wish I had the opportunity to do something like that. But thinking back to a project that I always think that came to mind was this Coca-Cola project I did for ESPN years ago in Vegas. And it was a important project because I was working for a tech startup, and we landed this Coca-Cola gig where we had to build an augmented reality photo booth for ESPN Game Day. And they were doing this thing at this thing called NACS convention, which is the National Association Convenience Store. It was such an important project for the blood of this startup and I think I must have put in maybe 100 hours in a week to get that project ready for launch, and I was the one who had to go out to Vegas to do the activation with Coke. And it was man, it was a very important project, and it was I learned probably the most ever during that project, because it was me and a small team, and we had like 10 days to have a ready demo, or ready, not just an MVP, but like a ready application for Coca-Cola at this activation event that they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on. So it was pretty neat. But today I wish I could do something for like, I would love to build like educational games for institutions, maybe hospitals, something like that. I've seen a lot of cool things where you can build like educational games for kids or even adults with autism. I think is pretty cool. But I never had the opportunity to work on stuff like that. I've always done for-profit gigs. Okay, so let's see here. Asset manager query category, parent category, child category, and search. Query category, parent category, child category, and search. All right, this looks good. So let's go ahead here. Let's run this, and let's grab all the data of our search term. So we'll do this both for the parallel as well as the singular. All right, so I'm going to search for gun, and you'll see here that the query, the category is all assets, the parent category is assets, the child category is null, and the search was gun. Now if I do guns, we'll see here that the query for the category is all assets, the parent category is assets, the child category is once again null, and then here we're searching for guns. So what's happening here in this search is it's determining whether or not it should only filter guns within a child category, or a category. So for example, guns within just props. So if there's an environment named guns, it's not going to include it. If I'm in props here, you'll see here that the category is props, the parent category is 3D. And you'll see here 3D, props, and the search was guns. And there's no searches, even though we know absolutely there is, right? Maybe we should actually get the count of items that it found as well, so that we can know like, hey, why is it skipping over this? If I do a gun search here, you'll see that we're in the props, the parent category is 3D, there is no child category, but we are searching for guns. Now if I go into a child category, such as weapons, that should populate. And you'll see here that we are in props, we're part of the 3D parent, our child category is weapons. All right, and that matches. So we're in 3D, we're in props, which is the category, and then the parent category is 3D, the category is props, and the child category is weapons. All right, and our search term was gun. And if I type guns, there's nothing. So let's see here. We need all right. So there is a broken condition here that based on whatever category we're in, that condition is taking over, and we're returning the result. We're returning the result too soon, is what's happening. You can see here this to array right here. I'm doing that on basically there's another statement missing. Something is broken in here where it's ignoring. It's only looking at one condition. We got ourselves caught in that condition. All right, so looking at the data that we just saw here, and let me go ahead and do one more search on that. So guns inside of weapons, this will be helpful. And I want to do all assets as well. Okay, so here we go. So all assets, search guns. All assets, and search guns. Okay, now let's see how this actually plays a factor in this. All right, so here we go. So product values were X, and then here we have a conditional statement. So if the category that came in, all right, so if the category is equal to all assets, which is what's being asked here, all right, so let's turn that into an if statement. So here, if category equals all assets, or the parent category equals assets, so what happens if that's the case? That's what this ternary operation is doing. It gets us into a loop here, or gets us into something. So here, category equals all assets, or the parent category equals assets. That means that we're not in a child category, or we're not in a 3D or whatever, right? Or a category is just assets. So if that's the case, what happens? If that's true, then, and actually it looks like we're just doing, trying to see here from a ternary perspective, if that's the case, we put true, right? It's like a true or false condition. So here it's asking if category equals all assets or parent category equals assets. For some reason, I'm not 100% sure, I don't remember this, we put true here. Else, what's happening? We're doing another check. Else, what's happening in this else statement? Else, we're checking to see if x categories dot exists, and then here we're doing another inline loop. All right, so else, and it looks like here, when they type x dot categories, they're saying they're checking the list of categories. So let's say here that we are not in all assets parent category, right? So this here means that browsing all assets. Else, we need to find which category I'm in, essentially, is what I believe is happening here. If we look here, it says true. Else, this category equal null, and actually it's checking here. So else, right? So we're in this else statement, and it has a check here for if category is equal to null. So I'm going to take that out. So if category is empty, and when is category empty? Category is empty if we're in, category is never empty. It should never be empty. Even if we're in all assets, even if we're in 3D or something like that, it should always be there. So it's just a safety check, essentially, what's going on here. So if category is null, and let's see here, where did I remove that from? Hold on. Okay, right here. So if category is null, then also true, right? If category is null, then do something. So that's exactly what's happening here. So let me just write that in. So here, if the category is equal to null, which it can't be, all right? True, else, here's another else one. Else we need to find out what category you're in. All right, so what category are you in? And we're gonna check to see, okay, does the category name, or does the y name? And the question is, what does y represent, right? So if we look here, this parameter for y, because it's difficult because it's in this link operation. Let me see what that is. Let's uncomment this. Let's hover over y. Does it tell us what that is? Okay, so y is a data model dot category, which is part of the product, the category. And it's checking to see if the name. So here, basically we're just checking to see, okay, cool. Does the category match a name of the list available, right? So is it 3D? Is it all assets? Is it projects, extensions, VFX, 2D, audio? It's checking for one of those. So let's go ahead here. We're going to comment that back out. And let's go ahead and break this again. Okay, so here if the category is null, if that's true, then that's fine. Something probably just doesn't do anything. Else, if the category exists, right? So say the category matches something that exists, and this is the important part, and that category exists for the parent category. So we need to make sure that the category exists as well as the parent category, and the child category exists. If that is all a true condition, then something happens. Else, we have else here. Else, categories exist. We check to see if the child category exists. And I'm just going to separate this real quickly. So if this is false, right? So this means that we're probably in a child category. So this would never get called. We're here. If a category name matches the child category, and your search term is valid, meaning that you put something in there, then we're going to execute something. Else, we're going to take the name of the product to lowercase, and I'm going to check to see if any products, so any product names contains my search keyword. So here's the comparison here. So I'm checking to see if any search keywords contain the product name, so guns, if there's any product names with guns, or if there's any tags that exist that also have my search term. And then lastly, it goes into this disgusting toArray. So somehow what I would like to do is I'd like to be able to kind of almost filter. I want to be able to like step through this. We might be able to do this using, depending on how quickly we can maybe do this. I kind of want to see what all this data is. So we might be able to hook it up into the debug console here. And step through it. Otherwise, we'll have to program something that kind of lets me see what is going on every iteration of this, because I actually don't see the issue here. This actually makes sense to me. I'm not sure why this condition here isn't working, because it's checking for both product name as well as the category name, or the child category name. And for some reason, I think it's getting stuck in this OR statement here. It's only doing this OR statement here. So it's basically checking for the tags that exist within a category. And if we look here, if I look at this, let's see. This is the tags for this guy are. Let's see here. I'm looking. I have on my other screen here. You guys can't see this. This is what it looks like though. The tags for this are gunshot or guns hot, right? Gunshot. So there's a tag here. For some reason, it's only doing this OR statement here, where it checks to see, hey, if the product tags exist for this Y here, which is the child category. Let me see. If the tags exist, so this one checks the product names, this one checks the product tags, and it's only happening for the product tags. It's not doing the product names one when it's plural, and I don't know why. And actually I do know why. It's this contains here. I believe the way contains works, and we can actually test this, is contains is checking for the full mentioning of guns. When we have weapons, right, we're just going to put gun as the tag. We're not always going to put the plural of guns. So the question is does contains return true for the characters GUN if you're searching for the characters GUNS? That's the bug right here. So what that means is I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this because we don't need this anymore. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and add this back, and let's test that theory of the contains here. So we can do this really easily with a test script. It's going to create a C# script. Test contains. And let's attach that to the main camera. All right, so this test contains here, basically we have a string to test, right? So we have here all right, that's going to be our test. Whatever characters we want, we can test it out in the inspector. And then what I want to do is I just basically want to say, okay, cool, string to test, and when we go ahead here, when I hit the space key, we'll test this out. All right, we hit the space key, and when we hit the space key, we need to check to see, hey, the string to test, which might be guns, does that contain this information, right? So we wanted to compare it against guns here. So here we're just going to say, okay, cool. If we're going to say string to test, or if, let's see here, we have a keyword search. We might have an array of keywords, right? So here, private string array of tags. All right, and we'll go ahead and initialize that. So for example, we're going to have, we have guns, and then we also have guns, gun. All right, so here we have an array with 2 tags. We can serialize that too if we want to see it. And then I hit the space key, and I just want to know if my string to test contains within that array, okay? And see what gets returned or something like that. So here, my string to test, I want to see if tags actually, and we might need to use link to do this. And possibly system. All right, here we go. So contains, it's an IE enumerable, it's going to be a true or false, and I pass in the values. So if tags.contains my search keyword, all right, which is going to be basically my string to test, is that going to be true or false? If tags contain string to test, I want to know what it is. So here, tags.contains string to test. We can go ahead here, and we should just be string to test, right? And then we can test this with just the plural and singular. All right, successfully found tag. So and then we can reapproach the problem of how we actually fix this. So let's go ahead here, we're gonna run this. And you'll see here I have tags guns and gun. If I type gun, right, this should report positive. Successfully found tag. Let's clear it. I'm gonna have guns here. So if I do it, let's do it this way. Let's do it, we're gonna have 1 tag. And let's just do gun. All right, if this works, that's good. So let's see. Successfully found tag because gun, gun. And then here, I'm gonna change this to guns. So guns. And we're checking to see, and the problem is this is not going to work, I bet. I hit space, nothing happens. And let's just confirm that with the log entry here. If tag contains, else, we're gonna say debug.log. Nothing in the tag list for string to test. And this confirms that on Filebase, the contains feature is looking explicitly for that search keyword. It's not taking into account the characters exist within it. All right. So contains is too explicit for us to be using. Here, if I run this, we're gonna put guns. If I put gun, nothing in the tag list for gun, but there is, it's plural though, guns, plural. So if I type guns, successfully found tag. All right, so that is the issue or the bug inside of Filebase. So we narrowed down the problem. Now we need to look at the search and figure out, okay, we can't use contains. How do I detect singular versus plural phrases, right, or words? So let's see here. We need to go to Google, and we need to check if word is plural. How to check if given word is in plural or singular form. I'm trying to do that in Python for an app in Google App. I know PyCh and chain libraries used for natural yada yada yada. All right, let me see here. Here, they're just using like an inflect library system, something in Python maybe. But here, I just want to see this English words. They have hat and hats for English and English words. If singular, false, else, do something else with the plural. So you can, you can reroute what happens. In .NET C#. Okay, let's see here. So complex business objects is a valid plural of complex business object. Okay, so let's see here. There are many ways to tackle this. You could use code inside of pluralization services. What? There are pluralization services. That's crazy. Version 1 was a very dumb but practical effective solution. If the first 4 characters match and it ends in an S, then it's plural. An ugly solution, but it worked perfectly in production for many months. It took about 2 minutes to write. So I think we all talked about that, where we could identify the S, and I think that does work. But it's more of a hacky situation. He even says it here. A very dumb but practically effective solution. And then there's more sophisticated solution. Now, the question is, which one do we want to spend time with? We're going to take a look here at the sophisticated one, but we might actually go with this dumb one, because for our purposes, if it always works, why do I care, right? If it's not going to be a performance issue, if it's not a problem, just because I wouldn't call it a dumb method. There might be an alternative reason for his wording of dumb here. It might be it's less optimal, it's less efficient in further cases. It might not support race conditions. That's something that you have to consider. So let's take a look at what his more sophisticated approach is. Getting more sophisticated. As we processed more data, failing cases inevitably popped up. So that's why, right? Race conditions. I decided to rewrite was in order, using a list of rules and common exceptions I curated from the web, such as the irregular plurals. The code is far from perfect, probably slow, and will no doubt have some edge cases. All right, let's take a look at what he's doing here. So he's got a dictionary of known common plurals. All right, this I already don't like, because there's 5,000 assets on Filebase, 5,000 plus tags. Each asset has like 10 tags. That's no way. We're not doing that. I'm not doing 50,000 comparisons of this. So we're gonna go with the dumb method and see if it causes problems down the road, because that's just ridiculous. All right, so let's check this out. We're just going to identify an S. It's that simple. Identify an S and remove it, because whether it has an S or not doesn't affect the search term if it's not plural. So you'll see here, because it contains, and I think we can test that here. If I put guns, and then my string to test is gun, does that show up? Let me see here. And I might be confusing something. So nothing in the tag list for guns, because it's looking explicitly for that. But I believe our tags and our search result was different than that. Let me see. Or we want our goal here is to take guns and change this to gun. Right, that's our goal here. But let me see here real quickly. If we do guns, and actually I think we tested this with jar and jars. So check this out. So here, if I type jar, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I type jars, we get 1. Now the question is, when it's plural, am I missing 1? And I think we tested that with guns. Here's blood splat. If I type gun, does it get included in the blood splat? So, and I think it does on page 5, maybe page 4. Here we go. Here's the blood splat. So so technically we could remove the S in the background. So if you type guns, that's fine. You're gonna type guns, it's gonna show you guns, but internally I'm gonna take away your S and show you the results. And I think we can do that every time. For example, if I do jars, jar of teeth, jar, there's jar of teeth, as well as all the other jars. Let's test this out one more time with what's another asset that might be having an S on it? Glass versus just glass, and it looks like it's the same. We can try this with walls. Here's all the walls. We have 3 pages of walls. Okay, so we have 3 pages minus 2. If I remove that and just do wall, we have 5 pages. So yes, I think this would work if we remove the S internally. So you can put walls. We're just going to remove it on the back end. I think that's the best thing to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Pretty easy to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I need to detect that you have. I have to detect that you have an S at the end. So give me 1 second here. Hang on, guys. Just got a text message. Okay. So we don't need this test contains here. And let's open this back up. And here, yeah, let's real quickly, we can test this with car as well. By the way, if you guys didn't know this, the tilde key is the hotkey to just launch Filebase without having to go to Filebase at the top here. You can just hit the tilde key and it opens up. All right, so let's see here. So we are going to, car. All right, so we got 5 pages of car versus cars, 1 page. And you'll see here stoplights 0203. That's what we're searching for. Stoplight 0203. All right, right here. All right, so that does work. All right, good. So we're just going to remove the S internally. All right, let's go and open this up. See what's going on here. And we're going to take the search result before the query. So we process the query, and we're going to modify it. So here, I'm just going to take your search term. The problem, I'm trying to think of race conditions where we might break something. Like what happens if you are looking for an asset that is called, let's say, like, is there ever a case where it's not plural, but you might think it's plural, right? Like, for example, if it ends with an S, but then we tested that with glass, right? G-A-L-S or G-L-A-S returns the same information as G-L-A-S-S. But what if there was one S, right? What if it was like G-L-A-S and then you typed G-L-A? Would everything else still appear if I internally removed the S? So we actually need to test that. Here, gas is a good one. Yes, thank you. Sorry, there's like fire trucks going by. All right, so let's try this. So let's do gas. All right, so here's a bunch of stuff for gas. I don't know why craps table shows up here. I don't know why that. I'm not sure why some of this. I'm not sure what the hell any of this stuff is showing up for. That's really interesting. Worst case is it would return more results. I think you're right. If I say gas, it would, right? You're gonna get all this stuff, but if you're looking exclusively for gas-related things, obviously you want like this industrial pack here of gas tanks, or you want the gas station. So that is a problem. That is a problem. Let me see. I might need to create a list to test these against. Instead of creating a list like what that guy was doing of like 50,000 tags or something like that, maybe the most popular tags we can maintain the list of. So let's say here that we received, like, we know the most popular ones, right? Like, hey, you're searching for guns, you're searching for weapons. We might be able to do this based on the category search keywords. If it is a vowel, just assume it isn't a plural. All right, hold on. I like that idea. So hold on. Look for vowels before the consonant. Guys, I suck at English. What is a consonant? If it is a vowel, just assume it isn't the plural. Is that a word that ends on a vowel? So, for example, like gas, like ga, ends on a vowel, so we know that we need to keep the S. Is that correct? So gas would not be plural, but cards would be. Okay, right, so because there's no vowel there. Okay, actually I like that. That's a good approach, Adam. Okay, so let's do that. So yeah, everything that isn't a vowel is a consonant. Okay, so yeah, look at the second to last letter, and if it's a vowel, keep the S. Oh, beautiful. I like it. All right, let's do that. So here, detect an S at the end of the search term. So here, so really what we're doing is detect a vowel, right? Detect a vowel before the S is what we're all agreeing on. The problem with that are the ES plurals. Shit, are we gonna have, okay, so we might have to make a condition for ES then. But let's see here. If we detect a vowel before the S at the end of the search term, keep the S, right? Keep the S. So for example, we have like, gas, or we have, what's another example here for this? What else ends in that? What else do we have here? We have, I think that's just it. Is that the only one I can think of? Cause cases would be a great example of an issue. Let's see here. So gas would not be plural, but cards would be, right? All right, so here we detect the vowel before the S at the end of the search term. Keep the S, i.e. gas. Detect the A before S. Keep original search term. And then here, no vowel, i.e. cards. No vowel, i.e. cards, remove the S. No vowel, i.e. cards. We need to detect the S. And then remove the S. Okay, bus. Yeah, bus would be a good one too. So we would keep bus. So BU, okay, and that would fall into this race condition here. All right, cool. I like this a lot. This is good. So here's what we're gonna do. We have our search term here. We need to detect the vowel before the S at the end of the search term. So here we need to know, hey, does our search term, does it have an S, right? So here we're gonna say, we need to check if we need to detect the S on the end of this word first, and then we can detect the vowel before the S. So here, I want to know if the last character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my search term and convert it to a character array. So here we're going to say var, let's call this search keys equal the search dot toCharacter array. And I want to know if the last letter contains an S. Search keys equals the search character, and then here we're going to say search keys, and we want the last one, so it's going to be the search dot length. So if you have the letter, for example, cards, the length should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or does it start at 0? It's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, so it'll be 5. It should be 5. So search.length, so I might need to do -1 here, I believe, because it starts at 0. So here I'm going to say search keys.length. I want to get that character. So the 5th character is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I shouldn't have to do -1 here. All right, so search key search.length, I'm checking to see, hey, does that equal an S character? All right, and that's basically going to be an if statement here. So here I'm checking to say, hey, does that equal that? And here we can basically just say, hey, var contains S. So let's say here we have our search keys. We break it down into a character array, contains S. Search keys equals S. All right, well, let's just test that out before we move further. So here, debug.log. Search keyword ends on an S. Contains S or ends with S, we'll say. All right, ends with S. And search keys, I need to make sure it's all 2 lowercase as well. So here I'm going to take your search. I don't know if I have to store it in a new string or if I can just do that. We'll test it. All right, and then here, if ends with S, yeah, we'll see if we need the -1 here. It should place a 5 in there, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I shouldn't need it, but maybe. All right, let's test this out. All right, we want to test this with, let's do it with cards, right? So card. Okay, index out of range, exception. Okay, right, because it's search length. Hold on here. Okay, I think you're right. It needs to be -1. So what actually is the search length? All right, let's test it out. All right, so here we go. So we got card. Search length is 5. Hold on, I had an extra character in there. Card. Okay, search length is 4. Cards. Search length is 5. Search keyword ends on an S. Good, so that's working. So here, we need to now test this with caps. So card. Card. And cards. Search length 5, and it did not find the S, so that didn't work. All right, so we need to make sure that the search keyword. So we're going to say here, we're going to take your search and equal it to search.toLower. That should fix that. Yeah, I think arrays are not 0-based, but lists are 0-based, which is annoying. Let's see here. So here we type card, and we get a length of 4. That works. And then we say cards. All right, search keyword ends on an S, and yeah, so if the length is 5, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the, okay, it is 0-based, yeah, sorry, I had that backwards. Arrays are 0-based, so 4 is the S. So we have to -1. Okay, so here we have cards. Let's test it out again with capital and capital S, and there we go, that works. All right, search keyword ends on an S. So if that's the case, we need to keep it now, right? So if ends with an S is true, now we need to know, okay, was there a vowel before the S? So detect the vowel before the S, keep the S. So was there, if ends with an S, search keyword ends with an S, and now we need to actually check if there's a vowel there. So let's see here. Ends with an S is true. Detect the vowel before the S at the end of the search term, keep the S, i.e. gas. Detect the before, keep original search term. If there's no vowel, then we remove the S. All right, so now we need to detect the S. We need to detect the vowel before the S. So I want the last character is search.length -1. So search.length -2 is going to be whether it's an A, E, I, O, or U. All right, so here, in order for us to do this, we need to know what the vowels are. So we might as well make it a constant since they never change. All right, we're going to do a private constant character array of vowels. A, E, A, E, I, O, U. And I don't know if I can actually declare it this way. We'll see. The expression being assigned to SMNG vowels must be constant. Is it not? Can I not declare a constant array? Oh, okay. I could just make it strong. But you need to declare it read only instead of constant. Okay, fine. Boom. All right, good deal. All right, so private read only here. I'm reading your question, Ben, and if you have two strings, assets, user search, could you not just check if I contains user search to or user contains? The problem with the contains is that contains is looking explicitly for the word. It doesn't factor in that you're searching for, if you're searching for GUNS and you have a GUN, it doesn't recognize that. Okay, so let's see here. So here's our vowels. Now what we need to do is we need to detect the vowel before the end. So let's see here, back down to where we were. All right, search keyword ends on an S. Check for vowel before the S. So here we're simply just going to check to see if the letter before the search.length -2 is a vowel, right? So here, let's go ahead and say here var contains value contains vowel before S. And vowel before S is going to equal the search keys, the search.length -2. And we're going to check to see if that contains any vowels, or dot contains, I have it backwards, sorry guys, hold on. Vowel before S, so I'm going to say, hey, search keys, we want to know if this is inside of our vowels. Holy shit, one sec. Am I in a static method? Oh, I am. Hold on. I can't access non-static properties. I have to make it static. Okay, here we're going to say vowels. There we go. All right, so ends with an S, true. Let's check for vowels. Is there a vowel before the S? Equals vowels.contains a vowel on before the S, right? So if that's the case, what happens here? So vowels.contains, if that's the case, what needs to happen? If there is a vowel there, we keep the S, right? So we're going to do nothing. So if ends with an S, and we say, hey, var vowel before S equals vowels.contains. So if that's true, what happens if there is a vowel? We keep the S, correct? Keep the S. So we're not going to do anything. So we don't have to do anything. It's if there is no vowel. So here, if the vowel before S is equal to false, remove the S. Remove the S. All right, and we're going to modify the search keyword. So here, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to keep the search how it is. I haven't modified it at all. It's still search. If we need to remove the S, though, I'm going to remove it. So here, we're going to go ahead and say, OK. We're going to say your new search term, the search string, is now equal to basically. I think I need to rebuild that string, which is very annoying because that is slow. I don't want to do that. Do I have to rebuild it manually? Or is there something I can just do to remove the last character? Oh, you know what? Hold on, there's a remove character? What? Okay, hold on. Search equals search dot remove. What? Look at that. Int start index. Wow, that's cool. Search dot length -1. And that should fix the search. All right, so let's see here. If we type in guns, boom, look at that. All the guns, including the blood splat on page 4. Beast. And if we type in guns, or gun, all the same shit. Yes. Awesome. All right, Al's going to be very happy that's fixed. Let's see here. Let's test it with car and cars. Boom. And let's test it with gas, right? Or here, cards. Do we have cards? We do. And test it with card. Same stuff. Sweet. Let's test it with gas. Boom. Works perfectly. And if we test it with GA, then it's just something else you're searching for. Awesome. And if we test it with glass, sweet. Walls. Wall. Good. Sweet. Yeah, oh yeah, he will absolutely love that the search is fixed. Let me see here. Give me a second here. Wow, it is so much more awesome Filebase with this fixed search. I'm annoyed it took us this long. Okay, so next, let me go ahead here. Just going to commit this up. Let me see here. And guys, I rarely ever use, I don't ever recommend anyone ever use Git, what's it called? Don't use this visual shit. This is awful. Bad practice. Don't do this. Use the terminal. Let me see here. Fix search. Thanks. All right. Let's see here. That one's good. Filebase search done. All right. Next thing on Filebase is the let's see. I fixed the health bar already. Oh, queue for re-download. Let's take a look at this one. This one, let's see if I can replicate this. This is an interesting one where sometimes these images will have black squares based on your net. The reason it does that is to prevent it from crashing. We want Filebase to continue loading for you and be able to be experienced and not have to crash, because unfortunately the way it used to work was, if think about it, guys, we have 5,000 assets and growing, but there's 1,686 bundles of assets. If one of those icons failed to load, the entire thing would have to restart. So we disabled that, but and replaced it to where, hey, it's just going to be a black screen because that's a failed image load. So what we want to do, is make note of all of the images that failed, and let's try and asynchronously re-download them for you. All right, and let me, goddamn, hold on, I committed with these logs. Let me go ahead and remove these. All right, let's see here. I need, trying to have this hopefully work. I need to be able to figure out where we identify an image failed. Does anyone, how do I, damn it, the network is too good right now. Oh, this is interesting. The hell just happened here? Oh, I don't think I took into account what to do if we have no search. Did it just break? Hold on. I think it is very broken. Like crash broken. Hold on, let me get the logs of this. That happened. So I don't see anything here. Running get, receive challenge data. Weird. The hell is that? Ben, you're able to make the search work doing what you posted above. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Could you just check for both conditions? Yeah, we could have done that too. Could you just check if I contains the user search or if the user search contains the I? Yeah, that would have worked as well. Yep. Okay, good. Here we go. So I wanted these black squares here. So with these black squares, I want to identify that these failed to load. Now hold on, I need to check something on all assets. You see that? Something has broken here. Don't know why. If the search field is empty, let me see. What did we touch there? We do search to lower. Yeah, I'm not touching any of that. Hold on. Category is all assets or assets. If it's nothing. If val before an S is equal to false, we remove the S. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. If the val before an S is equal to false, we need to also make sure that the searches continue to be null, I guess. If the val before S is equal to false, and the search is not equal to empty. Ooh, damn guys, hold on, broke something big time. Why? I assume it's related to the search. Or something is getting like frozen on it. Let me see. I should still be able to search for weapons. Can I go into another category? Oh, okay. I'm getting index out of ranges here. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Search keys, search.length -1 equals S, and search keys dot length is greater than 0. Still freaking out here. I don't know why. It's asynchronously frozen. That's weird. Window list -1 clicked on. let's see. I don't know what the hell caused that. Weird. I don't know. Here, let me test something here. If I do a keyword in all assets. Okay, so it's definitely when it's a null search term. So we have broken something here on the null search terms. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to put that back to this. Search equals search.to lower. All right. If the search dot is null or empty, that's what I want to check. Yeah, if search dot all right, if string dot is null or empty search, then we want to do all this stuff, right? If it's false. So if the string is null or empty search is equal to false, we're going to do all this fun stuff. And we should be good there. All right, then we'll go ahead and modify everything else. Yeah, then we can just go. Phoenix plays Fortnite. Sounds like a personal problem, dude. Let's see. Fixing the Filebase Unity plug. All right, so let's see here. If we go to all assets, boom, fixed. Thank God, guys. Not gonna lie, kind of shat a brick there for a second. All right, awesome. Search is all good. Let's make sure that we can still go to guns versus guns. There's guns and gun. Boom. All right, good deal. So let's go ahead here, and now we're gonna move on to those things. So let me just commit that real quickly. All right, so so progress bar fixed, search fixed. Now we need to do those downloads. So when we download an asset, right? So when Filebase is loading up, what is it doing? Basically, it's pulling the database of textures. And if one of those textures fail, it used to crash the entire system. And we prevented it from doing that for a better user experience. Because if you had a shit network and you waited 5 minutes for it to open, and on that very 5th minute, one image failed, you have to restart the whole thing, which is unfortunate. So let's go ahead here that we need to maintain a list of everything that failed so that we can try and re-download it again. And we can do that hopefully asynchronously. All right, so inside of here, we need to follow the init initialization. Loading data, categories, we get the categories, featured products, we get all that featured shit. Loading equals false, and then loading data becomes false. And then here, we're downloading the products. All right, so a callback for when we download things. So once we get that callback, we do all our checks, make sure it's authorized and all that. And then here, we have our network interface connected, download challenge callbacks. Same things, pro only assets, draw checkbox. I am looking for where we trigger off these tasks. Might be in the asset manager, let's see here. There should be a download product. Contents, let's see. Here's our challenge list where we download all the coding challenges. And then we get data. All right, so Filebase instance progress, yada yada. We do a web request, URL for the challenges. Oh, here, you know what? Let's go to the config. That'll tell us. We are looking for not download requests, file-based products, boom. All right, here we go. Products. All right, so let's see here. All right, so what we want to do here is here's where we get the products, right? So here we say progress equals random progress, request equals await, which is an asynchronous authorization. We're going to go ahead and grab the products, which is a JSON data. And then we're going to parse that JSON data and download, thousands of textures within seconds. You're welcome. So here we have logging.log, received product data, so we know we got that. And then here we write the contents, we populate products, and then we pass in that contents. All right, here we go. So if the JSON is not equal to that, meaning that we have products, then here's our product array. We deserialize the object so that we can map everything to a product. So every product has an image URL. So if we actually look at that, you'll see here that every product has a list of images actually, and a list of, I believe, a featured image. Should be, I think it might be the first image within this list that we use for the featured image. Oh, here, Al's here. Sweet. Hey, Al, here, check this out. Look at this beautiful search. All right, so the problem, right, was when we search for gun, we get all these things, right? My bad, put a character in there. So here's gun, and then here is plural guns. It's beautiful. We could do things like decks. We have no decks. Wall or walls. Weapon or weapons. Your whole search is fixed, Al. Whatever you want, you can find in here. All right, so let's see. All right, so here we have our JSON of products, and what we want to figure out is which product image failed to load, so that when we get those black squares, we can queue them up to be re-downloaded for you. Here, for int I equals 0 or I less than the amount of products we have, we basically say if the SKU is not equal to nothing, then that's a product. We're going to add that product to our list so that we can easily manage it for you. Here we say categories. That's getting categories. We might need to follow this products. Parent category, yada, yada, yada. And get featured products. Get textures. Here we go. All right. Here we're grabbing a new texture list, and if the master list product count is less than or equal to 0, we remove whatever that first one is, I guess, or whatever that is. Here we iterate through the master list of products. If the image count is greater than or equal to 0, then we're going to try to download it using a task. Otherwise, we're going to catch an exception and do nothing. That exception here, I believe, is where we can actually recognize, hey, an image failed. We can say debug.log, possibly image failed, try again, and we can process it again. All right. So let's test that out real quickly. Else we're gonna just remove the product. So here, when we do a task, we basically are passing in a dictionary with a task, a ID which represents the image, and then here a texture for which image it's gonna be. And then we go to X, network interface, we get the image, we pass in the image I want, and so forth. Okay, good deal. So this should be where it failed. So image failed, try again. So let's see if we can get this to trigger. So here we'll go and open it up. And we're looking for a failed square. Might need to do this a few times. All right, nothing yet. If we go to all assets, See if we can get stuck on a black square. Come on. Nope. Let's keep reloading it. Okay, here we go. So we got our black squares, but no log message, which is a problem. I did get 25 warnings though. What is this? What the hell are these? I think these are old. Pretty sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not super concerned about that. Okay, so let's see here. So that was not the proper place. Let's go to our network interface, get image. We pass in the URL of what we want, and we try it. Oh, you know what? Hold on. This is actually where we need to be. Where the hell was I just recently? Was I an asset manager? I was. We don't want to be here. This is incorrect. We actually want to be in that network interface. Hold on. Okay, so let's go to asset manager here. That's going to be fine. Get textures. And we're not going to catch anything in this exception. We're just going to do nothing. Let me see though. If we go in the network interface where we actually run the downloads, we don't want that. Get an image. This is actually what gets an image here. All right, so we're doing, this is an asynchronous task, and we're doing a dictionary of these tasks to get those images. So inside of here with this get image, we pass in the URL that I want. I'm going to try and download it. And while the request is done becomes false, we await a delay so that it can run asynchronously. And then here, if we have an issue, we're going to log it. Now, we're logging it. I want to, and actually we might be able to see it in the logs actually, but let's also debug this just in case. We're going to grab exactly this. So here, the network interface errored on get image, the URL that failed, and then the message log with it, so we can know why it failed. And then here it returns that texture. And the texture is null. You can see here it's returning a null texture, which is why it's black. So we should be able to detect in here when something goes wrong, hopefully. And then here we say texture my texture equals the download handler if it wasn't returned null. Let's see. What else? Here, hang on, guys. All right, let's see. Side question, will game dev's official cert be out available in the near future? Wondering if it'd be worth taking advantage of the Unity certification sale. Yeah, actually, we have a huge update that we're about to release to where the certification is going to be pretty much, it's done. We just ran a test with some people on it and we're thoroughly impressed. So yeah, our certification come the new year, we'll be making a huge announcement for 2021 as well as the certification because we're changing it drastically on our site and everything required for it. But yeah, it is done. Let's see here. Do I recommend you get the sale for Unity though? Go for it. I mean, it can't hurt. I'm not a big fan of their certs. You know, you take a multiple choice question. Doesn't really prove anything to anyone, you know. But for your own personal growth and gain, like absolutely get the certificate. Let me see here. So we need to, let's run this. I need this to crash. I believe this should be where we need to be. So if we get a black image, we should see a log that prints out that our texture failed to load. Nothing yet. Go for it, dude. I would love for you to make a cheat for my games. Huh. Why can't I get black squares? Let's see. Oh, we're just gonna keep opening this until it craps itself. Wow, Toxie, thanks for the offer. Hard pass. All right, let's see here. Come on, give me the black squares. Ah, damn guys. Usually when I'm streaming, right, my network is total shit, but today it's working really well. I would like to see some failed textures. Nothing yet. Yeah, we're fixing the black boxes. Damn. Yeah, no, I've gotten them a few times. I'm not getting them now, of course, when I need them. I might be able to just force a break, possibly. Let's see here if I can just do that. If we set the texture to null, that's really the question here, is can I identify that a texture is null? And we actually can. You can see here if the texture is null, then no image found, right? So we purposely set the texture to null, but that's only if it gets here. So if it successfully downloaded something but the texture is null, then we just, we dispose of it and we set the texture to a null thing. So we might need to also be in here possibly. But this is for if it successfully downloaded and there's just no image found. That is rarely going to be the case. I can't imagine it would ever be the case. Really, we're going to be right here where there was a network issue with the download handler. And we need to rerun this one again. What I do want to try here is, I'm just going to break this. Let's just put this real quickly onto here. So regardless, all right, just so I remember, we need to remove that. All right, let's see, we should get all black boxes. You can see here, object reference not set to an object. That breaks it too much. Basically what's happening now is all 1,600, 5,000 images are breaking. And it doesn't like that, obviously. If I go to the logs, I can probably see it's just processing. Let's see. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. Let me see. Let's walk through this. So we're gonna try this request. Let me try it. And if it's that, then we return a null texture. If it didn't fail, if there are no errors, right, we're gonna go ahead and process this and you're gonna return a new texture. Otherwise, we're going to catch and return null. So let's just get in here too. Let's see here, debug.log. We are in network interface. Network interface. This is going to be get image. So I might be able to actually just detect it in the catch there and reprocess the task. Huh. Al, I think this is this what you were talking about from what the best of Made with Unity has done? It's attracted just total trolls to Game Dev HQ. All right, let's see. Give me black squares. I would like some of these images to fail. Yep. Man. Oh, love this wants to fail. The network is too good. We're fixing Filebase bugs. Are they cached? No. No. These actually aren't cached. At least they shouldn't be. But yeah, no, these are not cached. Of course, when I need it to happen, it happens. When I don't, it happens frequently. Let's check these ones out. Come on, something's got to break. Break. Guys, I'm sorry. We're just, we built just too good of a plugin here. Well, my network is just insane right now. Not everything is so fast. Damn it. Come on. All right. Well, I have no way of testing this to know if this is the proper spot, which is very annoying. Let me see here if I can actually. What happens if we were to? Can we make a null? Yeah, right. Maybe I should honestly. Let's get Netflix and Hulu running. Let's give that a shot. Or here, what's gonna take the most bandwidth here? Let's do that. Oh, I'm not even logged in on this computer. What about Hulu? Oh my god, I'm not logged on anything here? Sorry guys, can't do that. Let me see here. How to throttle my own network. Ha! I have the unfortunate first world problem of downloading at 100 MBS. I want to throttle my computer down to 56 to 5 MBS. Honestly, to give myself an idea of how my users might be downloading my website. I'm using Windows primarily, but I also yada yada. So can you not just get a router switch that supports QoS filter? If you're using Google Chrome or Chrome-based browsers, right-click. What? You can do that? It's pretty cool. Oh, download a file, then play it. Yeah, okay. Here, let's find a, let me download something maybe from our drive. Yeah, okay. Here, let's do this. I'm going to download. All right, that's downloading, and let's go and open this back up. I'm downloading a massive file right now. Oh, you can tell. Look at that. That took a second, huh? No fails. It's still pretty damn fast. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. It is Google is preparing this download. Hold on. They're still preparing it. Should have just chosen an already zipped package. Oh, it's gonna take them forever to prepare this one. Shit. Hold on. I should have something else already zipped up here. Okay, actually, you know what? Weird. That was 100. It was only 130 megs. I thought that was gonna be much bigger. What's my speed test right now? Yeah, let's actually maybe run this and try it at the same time. Damn, look at that internet, guys. I don't know where I'm getting 400 MBS from. That is insane. I don't know why I'm getting such great internet. I'm pretty sure Hawaii doesn't even have that much power. That's insane. All right. Probably not going to get any black squares anytime soon then. All right, so we need to create a condition here to get a false positive, like as if you were to eat a poppy seed bagel on a drug test. Yeah. Here, give me 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on, my wife wants to show me something. Alrighty, so let's take a look here how we can break this. How do we force this to fail? How can I force a catch exception, right? That's what we want to do. So let's just Google that. I'm wondering, can try catch force execution to go into the catch? I would very much like to control this flow though. Oh shit, you know what, guys? We could. Hold on. But it is possible. Just do a throw new exception. Duh. Okay, good. So check this out. We can actually do this where it's gonna try and download something. And then before it returns this texture, I'm gonna go ahead and throw new exception. And that should get us into this catch block. Now this might not even load, we'll see. Okay, network interface get image returning null. All right, so we got into there. So let's do this. Let's do this. We return the new texture. I just want to confirm. I need to be able to confirm that this is where this happens. And so if we do get in here, we basically want to rerun this whole task here. Debug.log network interface get image. Here, so we can actually test this. Check this out. We can do a count here. So let's say here that we had like a static int just for testing. We had an exception count is equal to 0. We're gonna try this, right? If the exception count is equal to 0, we're going to throw an exception. We're going to increment it first. Exception count plus plus. Then we're going to throw that new exception. It's going to go to the catch block. And we are going to recall this getImage. We're going to rerun the try block here. And is there something to retry that? Let me see here. Can I recall the try method? I want to execute the code in the try block again after an exception is caught. No, not a built-in standard way, but you can build your own. Have you tried putting it aside a while loop? Put it in a loop, possibly a while loop around a Boolean flag. That's bad, don't do that. If you wrap your block in a method, you can recursively call it. I suppose so. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Not really recommended. Here's an example using a file download retry. Oh shit, there's a go-to retry label. How do I use that? Weird. My problem is I don't know if I can just call this task getImage, because this is how do I call this? Let's see here. Because I want it to call itself. And we have to see here how getImage works. Await network interface .getImage. So this is being executed from somewhere else. So wherever that somewhere else is who's responsible for re-executing it, which is the problem. So what I could do is I could just bring all of this functionality into a function, and then I can call it from there. But not ideal. Instead, how can I do that? So if exception count equals 0, we exception count, throw a new exception, and then I would like to just run this again. I need to like load though. Parent int ID. Damn, that's a problem. Because I also don't know how many, like there's a whole dictionary of these things we're running asynchronously, so I'm telling it to basically freeze on like over 5,000 things. It doesn't like that. Not a good way to do this. Let's see. It'd be nice if it would just like completely freeze for me. Exception on getImage, the URL E. Let's get the message of E, I guess. No. What is data here? Dictionary exception data. Exception E. I want to know E is an error. Weird. I thought there was something for getting E. Guess not. Let me see here. Network interface exception on getImage. If the texture is null, then we log that it can't be there. And actually, you know what you guys can do to help? If you guys open Filebase right now and try and get black squares, and if you do get a black square, you should be able to immediately go to the very top here where it says logs, and it should log out this message if you got a black square. It should log out possibly saying network interface errored on getImage with a URL. You may also see something of network interface, no image found. Let's see. All right, everyone try and get a black square and then open up your log. And you can just hit the tilde key again to reload. So you don't have to go to the very top every time. Just tap tilde and it reloads. Damn it. Let me get a login here as well. Make sure we're even in the right spot. Let's see. Alright, so check this out. So this is where we need to be. So downloading image for basically 20 images on screen here. That's about right. Here we can see it better. I think if we go to all assets. We go to all assets. 15 at a time. So we have introducing the vault, earn your game dev certificate. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at 6, 10, 14. Well, actually, I'm sorry. This is just for, what's it called? This is just for the assets. So let me see. We got 4, 8, 12. Weird. Where is that 16th one? Oh, you know what? 0 based. Yeah, okay. So 0 through 16 is 0 through 15. All right, cool. So we got 16 images here. So that is working. So we should be able to hopefully get one of these to fail. It dynamically does it per page to keep things fast. Come on. Oh, let's see. Oh God. Oh, Call of Duty Warzone. We got a little into that one. I liked. What was the one before that? That was really fun. Blackout. That was a cool game. I got pretty into Blackout. I didn't really like Warzone. Too different than Blackout. My wife actually plays Blackout a little still, and Warzone even. Damn. Guys, I need someone to report a black square. I need to know what log message you're getting, so we can fix it. So I'm certain so here's what we do know. Regardless, we're returning this texture, right? So if this, who does this get returned to is the question, right? So let's follow the track. Maybe we can figure it out. It'd be nice if we can actually see this, because I don't want us to write code in the wrong place, because it could drastically screw up something else. So I need to be able to replicate it, right? That's why, and this is important, guys. You never just go around fixing shit to fix it. You have to replicate it on your computer, because when you work for a company in QA, oftentimes QA is going to report a bug, and if you can't replicate it, you don't want to change anything else. So you need to find out how to replicate it or get it. So in my case, though, the network is too good. I need someone who has a not so great network to get the black square. Report back. All right, I want to go here though. It gets a texture results. Okay, so here it's adding a task where we actually store I believe the image we got. It's telling it what image to download, the size, and this is for loading project based on task products, and we basically add a new task. And then we wait for all tasks to be completed. The product image text get done. Get rid of all this. Actually, no, we can keep these logs here. That might be helpful. Results ordered by yada yada yada. Image texts. Okay. Let's see here. So we try and download something. If it successfully downloads, because it's not causing us to... what is connected control here? Let me see. So connected equals false. What happens if connected is false? If my texture is null, connected is false. This, I believe we changed this because it used to say connected is false, and then it would reload. It would assume that a failed download meant you lost internet. So I believe we removed this. These connected falses shouldn't do anything actually. If I'm not mistaken. So here we have the value of connected. Connected equals false. Connected equals false, connected, and then this value actually probably is being used. Control-Shift-F on it, you'll see here that we change the value here. Network interface.connected equals true on the init. Okay, Al got him. Sweet. All right, Al, with the picture of a black square here, I need you to go to the top Filebase and click on logs. And go ahead and paste your logs if you're able to. Maybe post it in like a pastebin or hastebin for me. You should see something that says like network interface. You should see, let's see, you should see something that says network interface. What is it? Okay, you should see something that says network interface errored on get image, or network interface no image found, or network interface exception on get image. Go ahead and paste that log so we can see what you have. And tell me if you see any of these matches. Exception on get image, I added that one, you're not going to see that. You should see network interface no image found, or network interface errored on get image. No errors come up in log. What's it show in the logs? When you go here to file-based logs, you don't see anything? Damn, that's unfortunate. Shit. That's not good, guys. That means that that black texture. I copied the hastebin link. Okay, here, let me see. I go ahead and paste it here, or send it to me on. You can send it to me on Messenger. Open it up on the second side. Let's see. All right, so we have, okay, so you see asset manager. You received marketing, received product data, received your challenge data. No errors. Damn, that's unfortunate. That's not good. Okay, so now the question is, where the hell does that black square come from? Is that actually a sprite that we are placing over that? Do we have a black icon? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think what's happening, is this what's appearing? Is it this texture out that you're seeing? Do you see like black edges almost? It looks like it's the shadow. This looks like it's the background of the image. So technically what that means is that the image did successfully download. It failed to apply itself. We failed to get the texture. This part, I think, possibly, well, it didn't detect that it was null. You don't have any of those. So you return the texture. Same here with black picture. What do you guys see? You no logs, no errors? Interesting. Are they both set with the same layer depth? That's a good question. Let's see how we draw these. I don't want featured products. I want, where's our, okay, so let's see here. We have asset manager download. Draw sidelines buttons. Here, where do we draw these feature image or product image? Let's see here. Install manager needs update. We're looking for where we draw those squares. All right, here's the feature products. That's for rescan. All right, let's see here. Opening ZOMs, that gets that product. Login toggle. Login menu GUI. Loading GUI. Categories toggle. Zoom GUI, upgrade menu. Update. Loading. Checking for updates, connection error. Crash GUI, port GUI, file management notice, upgrade. All right, here we go. Open a new window. And when we open new windows, we load the project, selection ID. And here we have a window types of list. These are for categories. All right, I think we're getting closer. Here we go. New window.data equals the get textures for get downloads by selected sort by current page downloads times 16. So that's going to give us our 16 images. Okay. Dot data. And then we await asset manager.get textures. Let's go to this data here. What is that? So here, every product, so we store a list of data. Okay, so within each window, we store a list of product data. And within each product, right, we have all that good stuff like the list of images. So here, where do we actually use those images, right? That's what we need to see. Where do we use the actual product image? Here we go. Images. And actually, hold on. These are images, and then we also have texture, 2D for images text. I think it's just image. Let's find this. All right, so here, this is just gathering up the master image list. We add a new task to get that texture. And then once we have the texture, what do we do? Text, results. Let's see, we draw a button. We draw textures, Rex. Here we go. All right, so draw texture, rectangle, window, we get the current window, and then we get the data, we get the first product, we say images text 0. Now the question is, where do we then say images? Is that coming up? Image text. Don't say the images yet. Product model. We have a list of images, and then here we have an image text. Let's see. Height challenge, draw textures. Actually, don't see where the hell we're doing the draw box. Oh, actually, here, hold on. Draw black. Actually, no, hold on. What is this texture here? This is where we can find it. This texture is the shadow underscore BG. All right, here we go. It's using icon asset background. Okay, icon asset background wide equals null, then icon asset background wide equals that shadow one. Here, when we draw a new texture, here we go. All right, here's the separator. Okay, it just adds an icon asset background. That's not what we want. Looks like we might be using the shadow for a bunch of things, unfortunately. Let me see. Challenge rect, no. What is this one? Draw texture, challenge, add rect. For the ads. Challenges. Still on challenges. And these are ads, marketing. Not really related to the windows. Not super helpful. I actually don't know if that is truly the image we're using. Al, do you know? Do you know if on your black squares if you can see that shadow lining? Ben, if you just got it, go to Filebase at the top and go to logs. And then 2, if you can, compare it to this image. Do you see shadowings on the edges of it? Man, what a pain in the ass. Yeah, shadowing on edge. Okay. Oh, you think yours is solid? Let me see. So, if that's the case, then we are definitely... Let me see. Down.log, we're placing a shadow image there. No image found. You got a black screen. No shadows, dumb. Yeah, do you have like any edges on it? It's hard to follow where the hell we actually place these textures. Let's follow the window actually. Where's the window class? So here, let's follow the data of the windows. All right, here we go. We're drawing each button here. All right, so here's where we draw this. New begin, Windows current, offsets, yada yada. Current data.count. And it's just image texts. What the hell are the image texts? It's not actually using the textures. Yes, that is image text. Let's see, challenge add rect. So we have to await, so if current page is not equal to the last page, we have to re-download every time the new images. So here you get the textures, and then here you say current page times 16, Windows current download count minus current page times 16, then you get that page, otherwise you list it. And then loading equals false. So where do we actually use those images at? Where do we draw that? In the asset manager, when we get textures, what are we doing with it? We're building a list of tasks, and every task has a get texture result. And then here, result I image text. Ah, okay, hold on actually. So it is the image text, I believe. Oh, okay, that makes sense, right. It's texture 2Ds. I'm not sure what this other images is for. Okay, so it is a shadow. Okay, so that confirms a little bit here. So this shadow background, let's go back to everywhere that's being used. Icon asset background, and just bring this down so I can see these larger. All right, so here's where we declare the icon asset. Then we declare the icon asset background wide. We're not using that one, we're interested in the asset background. So if the asset background is null, then we grab it. If the wide is null, we grab it. Here we draw a texture. This is for that little drop down arrow with the little draw texture of the icon asset background. Okay. Here is a challenge rect. And let me see. We draw a texture, the challenge add rect. And then it also has an icon asset background wide with it as the background. And I believe that is the background. So if we look here, when you make a button, for example, we're doing a draw texture here. This parameter, I believe, is a background. So if I actually were to hover over this, when you say new rect, there's 3 overloads. We should be able to see that this is draw a texture within a rectangle. It's the background for that rectangle. Draw a texture within a rectangle with this background, like with that image. So I'm pretty sure that is the background. Here we open the windows of challenges. We draw the texture. Add rect, yada yada. So yeah, I don't think this would actually be an issue with it, with Z fighting or anything like that. But we need to find where it's drawing. Icon asset background. So here's a draw texture, and then he draws an icon solid. So the way it works in Unity is it's constantly running like 120 frames, and it only draws, it draws on top, in the order that you draw it. So if I draw that background first, and then I say, the texture, it will always be on top. So let's see. These are all ad posts. I don't know why I'm not getting the actual where we display the data for Windows. Selected project, begin the index, and then here draw texture, challenge, add rect, icon asset background wide. Get textures for the current window. And when we do that, what do? We say for int I equals 0, while I is less than the result.length, I++. We pass in an array of products. We set all the image text to null. We create a task where I'm going to say, hey, for this task, I want to associate an int with every get texture result. And then for int I equals index A, I less than index B, result A, image text equals a new texture. And then here we try and add I to the network interface get image. We may be getting into here, this catch, possibly. Get textures. Damn. Let's see. Get textured results equals text. Let's say text is null. And then here text await when all tasks are done. If the texts are not null, image text 0, text to text 2D. And then we return the result, which is that array. I still don't see where we actually draw this though. Windows, count. Oh, it is the text though. Hold on. So we have current window. Download product callback. Okay, let's see here. Hold on. Download product callback. Oh, that's for actually downloading. That's not what we want. Let me see here. Where was those where we did see the texts? Current window, image text. Alright, so here is where we're drawing each button. We draw the background first, then we draw the button. So for int I equals 0, while I is less than however many rows we have, or columns. Then here we basically draw that, and we say data.count, return if the current window, continue. And this is happening several times over. If the new begin, current window, offset, this is the offset between images. A selection box rect. Hovering selection downloads. So what screen actually is this? data.count. So we're going to do 4 rows, 4 columns. Amount in page temp. Let's see. Pages, left offset. And here we have an offset. So if the current data of the window is null, or window current data counts less than 0, we draw it all up. And you have no downloads. Okay, so that's for downloading. Hold on. Page listing all your downloads. Here, let's actually start collapsing these guys. Page made for challenges. Yeah, initialized asset manager. Yeah. I don't know why we're not getting any logs on these. It means that it did successfully download. It's just Unity seems failing to grab the image for some reason. Let me see. Display pop-up, crash GUIs. Yeah, let's collapse all these. It'll make it so much easier to just read these. Okay, draw button specifies direct and action callback. Okay, let's see here. Draws a project button with the specified rect and action callback. I think this is for the projects are the code challenges at the time. Icon asset background, draw texture, and let me see, do those have, yeah, so you can see the underneath it, that shadow. Do the challenges also have those? I think they're using the wide one, possibly. Actually, what is this overlay here? That's for the downloads, select all. Huh, man. This is where we draw a button. If the texture is null, so here's where we actually, this actually could be helpful. This is where we used to restart Filebase if a texture was null to prevent you from seeing those black squares. But we didn't want to do that because if it, for whatever reason when that occurred, basically they're failing to load. So loading equals false. And let's actually see, unfortunately I can't replicate this easily, so it's hard to tell if we're still getting in here, which I think we are. Loading is false and loaded became true. Textures are null. So we know that the textures are null. We might be able to identify that here. So here, the texture is null, so we don't do anything. We draw the icon background. If the texture is not null, then we're going to go ahead and draw whatever texture that we need to draw, which is basically the texture we pass in here. So when we draw the button. So this is an async method. So how many of these do we, how many references to this draw method do we have? Here we say draw button, and here's the async void method, and we call it from multiple places. So we call it here for each button, right? Well, I is less than however many we need to draw. We're drawing 15 of them. We're gonna draw that button, and that's for the featured product though. Textures, asset ID, featured products. And then if not overlaid, press, open window. Okay, this is for the projects. Let's see what this one is. So this one here, draw each button. Here's the rows and columns. Here's the offsets for them. We draw the button, body height, yada, yada, yada. Windows current data, begin index, image text 0. And then we do an async method where we selected project becomes that. I don't know what selected project is. I think that's the code challenges. This might be for the challenges. Is this for coding challenges? Page that lists out search results. Okay, no, this is not. This actually is for the assets. Let's see. So it's happening in here, and it's this method. It is. So it's draw button. We're trying to draw a button, but the texture is null. So it knows the texture is null. So when does the texture become null is the question. And we pass it in from where? Right? If I go back to this, we actually pass this in, and we say, hey, window data image text. And you can see here whatever the hell is going on with all of this. So image text 1 plus and then I plus the force for some offset, I assume, or somehow we're it's to calculate, you know, the column or the row between 0 and 3 or 1 and 4. Let's see. And the question too is, how long do we store those images? I don't know if we're dynamically grabbing these or not. Because what is this here? What is this parameter where it's null? Okay, this is here. We have a product, so we're going to pass in a rect. We pass in a texture, which we're grabbing. Image text, that's the texture we want. However, that texture seems to be null for some reason. The product that we pass in is null. And then we do a callback. Now that's interesting. So, and then once the product is null, the callback of that is going to be zooming into that. Okay, so that is going to then go into it. So for example, when you actually click on an asset, right? So if we click on subway ceiling, you go into it. This is the zoom in. So interesting. When you get a black square, L, does it let you zoom in? Can you click on a black square and see what that asset is? I think you still can, right? I believe you still can. So we know if you accessed something null, because when we go to draw a button here, we're detecting it. I guarantee you, if I were to send you a build here, here, let me see here. Here, I might actually, for those who are watching, you guys can seriously help by doing this. I'm gonna make a build here where everyone's gonna just get a debug.log for when this happens. This is going to be, let me see here. Product texture is null. And I think this might be able to pinpoint the issue. So I'm gonna say product texture is null. Product texture is null for product. Product.name. And actually, I don't know. Sometimes it gets thrown in here null, so we'll see though. Okay, product texture is null for product and the product name. So let me do this. We're gonna save this. And I will give everyone here access to download this build. Everything still works. Oh, finally, when I don't want it, I get the black boxes. And boom, look at that message right here. Product texture is null for product subway gate 02. Finally. Man, what a pain in the ass that was. All right, guys, this is the problem of this feature. It is right here. So what we can do is we should be able to process kind of a re-download of that product. We know what product failed, so there's no reason we can't just try and re-get those textures. Product texture is null for product. And you can see here, what did it say? How many products? Okay, so floor 01, gate 02, and it's constantly doing it. You can see here that this is constantly being called because the way Filebase works, right? It's an editor tool. It's running like 120 frames per second. So there's no reason that we couldn't try to successfully re-download that texture and apply it, right? So, all right, that's good. Glad I finally got this. Man, what a pain in the ass that is. All right, so here's where the problem is. And we're still drawing anyways. So the alternative is we can close Filebase and have it try again. But I just want to try it on these assets. I know what product I want to try and download. So here, what we need to figure out is I might need to cache the rect, the product information that we're trying to use, and regrab the texture data for this. Because where it's pulling its texture data from is from the window class, and it's apparently it's null. So we need to re-download it. Let me see here. Where do we use this texture? Okay, here we go. Boom. It's never drawing because it's null. So we need to reassign the texture right here. So we should be able to do that. If texture is null, if the texture is not equal to null, it's going to draw the texture. And that's after the icon asset. That's why we're seeing it. So the texture is null, so this never actually gets called. So why is the texture null? I don't know why the texture would be null, but we should be able to, and I want to make sure we can find this. This is draws a project button with a special extraction call. This, I believe this is a product. And then here I just want to add a log here. Fixing product, black icon. Or let me see here. Q for random. Hold on. Q for failed load. Okay, so let's see here. How long did it take me to learn to code? I've been doing this for 11 years now. So, and I'm still learning. It never ends. The learning journey never ends. And nobody wakes up with just 11 years of experience. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Let's see. Okay, so we know that this is where we need to do this. So what I want to find out here is why is this null? Where do I call this? I call this specific instance of it, or I call it all. Here, we do it here, and this is for drawing each button. This is not related. This is for feature products. This one is maybe for the columns. Yes, okay, rows and columns. Show buttons. Draw the background. I believe this is where we want to be. Let me make sure. Page that lists out search results. Yes, okay, good. So we want to be here. And I want to find where I call draw button. Right here. All right, so when we do this, sorry, give me 1 second. When we do this, right? So when we do this, for some reason the data is null, and it's specifically this begin index plus I plus whatever 4 times x is. And then that's the product we're getting. So once you get that product, and then you get that the image text 0. So it's this guy specifically. There's just nothing here. Products, it's just emptied, right? So what we need to figure out here is, did I get anything else when it failed? So let's actually look through these logs here, because I think when we do the network interface, get textures and stuff like that. Let me see if it will fail again. That'd be so nice. Of course not. All right, so let me see here. Let's go back through these. I'm gonna hide all the warnings. So it successfully downloaded 19 assets. And here, download image for 0, download image for -1, -1. I'm not sure what these mean. Okay, here we can actually follow the stack trace for these. So let's do that. So null for product gate 02. So here we can see what happens in this. So I open up Filebase. Filebase line 804 gets called, where we're on the home page. So we initialize, we're on the home page. Then we go to this featured product. We draw whatever that featured product is. And then we get to here where obviously a texture was null, right? So in this part here is where it messed up. So that, we know that. That's the draw button. And Filebase 804 is the home page. So when we go to the home page, what are we doing in here? We look for how many featured products we have. The offsets for everything. The buttons now we're going to draw. And view more tabs. Featured products X. Where do we ever populate this though, featured products? Because this would be the same issue. Let me see here. Featured products. Where do I populate that array? Pretty sure it's get products. Yeah, okay, it's right here. All right, get featured products. So it's inside the asset manager, get featured products, and we do it based on category. And then here, once again, we just create a new list of textures. We add them, and then we get the tasks. So we need to find, so this is the core of the problem, guys, where inside of here, and we'll have to actually do this twice. So it's get featured products as well as, I believe, possibly get images, unless get featured products uses get images. Let me see here, does it? Get featured products gets called. And it must, okay, it does use a get texture result. And does it use get images? It does. Okay, so the core of the problem is inside of get images. All right, so here we know what we're downloading an image for, and then we just basically have to say, okay, cool. We need to identify here that the texture is null. So the question though is, if it knows the texture is null, why is this log not coming out? This should be happening, but it's not. So that means that the texture initially was not null, and it became null, which is odd. So here, product texture is null for product name. What else can we get about this? The texture. And let's see here. Could we potentially just do, I don't know if we can just do a network interface call here to this method. Get texture result. How do we call this? We do a task. Okay, no, we can actually do it like this. Here, let's try this. We might be able to just do this. So I should be able to go to our file base here. Get texture result. We're gonna retry this. Get texture result retry equals await network interface dot get image. Let's see, network interface dot get image, and then actually shit, this might be a problem too, because this is going to continuously send us a null thing. We need to actually probably repopulate that master list or whatever it is. This actually might be a huge internal problem. But let's see here. What do I pass into this? The URL. So I should be able to do the product. And the images has a source. Yeah, here we go. Master list I products images. Shoot. So we actually, weird, we have hold on there, let me see something. Tasks, network interface, get image, and then here it's going through the master list of products. It's taking image 0, the source, and then it's insert. What does the insert key do? The start index and the value. So then it inserts at the length -4 for some reason, and then the size, and then here we have I and X. Not super useful. And I'm wondering if we can catch these in this exception as well for anti-masterless products that count. What a pain in the ass, guys. I think this is a bigger problem. This master list, I think, needs to be. I need to rerun these tasks, I believe, or I need to find or filter through this, because where this draw button here happens, this draw button is getting called from somewhere, and it's reading from that list. So it's just going to continuously pass in null information. So even if I fixed it here, I'd have to create a hack around to prevent it from going null again. Not a big fan of that. Let me see here. Where's that restart stuff? What happens when we restart this? Okay, yeah, I used to just close it. We prevented that though. Damn. Well, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I see the undertaking that's about to happen here, and it's gonna take it's a several hour look at, because I need to now remember and understand how the hell this I have to remember and learn how the master list works, because we apparently something is wrong with this master list. Let me see here. Master list I products, and the images count greater than 0. Then we add a null texture, and that's the problem. We add a texture, we try it, it's failing, and we're not handling the exception here. No, I don't know if I'm gonna ask Sam. I don't think there is. I think the solution here is we need to figure out how to properly handle this, or we need to figure out why it's not detecting that those images are failed automatically. We're getting a successful image back, but then it's becoming null at a different point in time. Something is wrong. And it's here that the problem is. So he builds this task of get texture results, and he does this for every product that we have. For every product that we have, if I have images, then I'm going to add a null texture. I'm going to add a new task, and then I assume he's going to access the master list from here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, he inserts it from the master list product image 0 source length. That gets the thing, and he passes that into get image. And then where does he populate that? He returns this. My texture, does he touch the master here? I don't think he does. Download handler, no. So then he returns the texture, a new texture result, into this getImage method, which goes into this dictionary of key value pairs for that task. And where do you keep the list of tasks? Okay, yeah, they're all stored in this dictionary here. So something in this dictionary is just, it's null for some reason. That's annoying. I do not know why. Let's see here. And he creates, the problem here too is, let's see here. He creates this dictionary locally in load project. So it's not like we're saving all the things that we do. It runs once and then we're just not catching when things go null. You can see here that we're okay with it when an image is null. And that's what you'll see here. If my texture is null, we do nothing. Well, that's the problem. This is never actually getting called. So it's falsely not null. So it's becoming null after. So I'm actually not sure what the hell is going on with that. It's going to require further deep dive. I should message Sam though and see if he has any ideas. Because this is going to be... Oh, that's going to be a bitch. Let me see here. Let me see here. Sometimes a product... It's only null when trying to draw. Yeah, it's only null when trying to draw the image. It's not happening when we download the image, which is where you would think it is. So it's after we've downloaded the image and we try to use it, it's null, which means we might be accessing possibly the wrong index of the images, which could be null, or something like that. Could be a problem. And the texture equals my texture. So in that logging log, there's none of that got printed out. Be nice if we can get this again. Here, we can confirm this. Let me see. See if it does get null within the downloading. Alright, we can see that. Downloading image 4, 2, 3, downloading image 4, and then we should get a bunch of success results coming in. Alright, hold on, actually, check this out. Downloading image for -1, successfully downloaded image for product ID -1. Successfully downloaded. Here, let me collapse these. Let's try that again. All right, so successfully downloaded image for product ID 0. Why these happen so many times, I don't know. Successfully downloaded image for product ID 0. Successfully downloaded image for product ID 1. And we should have one of these for each one. So here's 2, 3, 4. Successfully downloaded image for product ID 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. If it's null, could you access the picture with the item description and assign it? Technically, I could process a re-download, but the problem is that it's being drawn 120 frames per second, and it's being passed in as null. So even if I re-download it every time, it's still going to get nulled on the next pass. Let's see, Sam thinks it could be probably to do with converting it to a texture 2D to render it. That could be. Let's find out. Let's go back to that method. What was that method called? It was draw button. Okay, so when we draw a button, okay, we need to find the exact product download one again. Okay, so here goes. This is for the product icons. Let's find the featured one, because that's the one actually I can replicate sometimes. I think that's for this, right? Here's a list page. A view more page. Okay, this is okay, it's the asset list. Main page for searching. Alright, so you view more, yada yada yada, label, and we're gonna draw stuff now. Draw each button. Alright, await open window, that's a few. Okay, so I believe it is this one. Yes, okay, main page. Alright, so let's find the draw button here. So it is this first one. Okay, so here when we draw this button, we are basically saying we're going to draw it at this rect. I'm going to use feature products x dot textures asset ID. And where does that come from actually? Let's see here. What is this parameter? Okay, so that's the texture here. Okay, so it's drawing this texture and this asset. So that's why it was able to tell us what asset it was. And then when it draws that texture, it's this. So featured products asset ID dot ID. Oh, I'm sorry, not that. It's this. Featured products. We grab the product we're trying to draw. The textures, the asset ID. What is this asset ID? Because that could be null. Could be an out of bounds exception. It could be, you know, out of range. Let's see. Textures, asset ID. Where do we determine what this asset ID is? Featured products count. If the asset ID is greater than or equal to the product count, then the asset ID minus the featured products. Okay, then asset ID equals the asset ID minus the featured product. Oh, okay, so it just resets it. So like when you hit the buttons and stuff like that, that's totally fine. Okay, so not super helpful. But it could be a problem though. I mean, clearly something is null in here. This is what is becoming null. Question is why. I don't believe it's out of bounds. I'd receive an actual error if, like, let's say here that this was between 0 and 4. If that was a 5, it would actually throw a null reference exception or an out of bounds exception. The fact that it's not doing that tells me that it is valid. It's just legit. The texture is null. Shit. Featured products, X textures. asset ID. And then here we have the ability to zoom in on that. Sure, I don't know. It sucks that I can't replicate this frequently. That is super annoying. This isn't a game. It's a plugin. But yes, this was all built using C#. Man, guys. Such a pain in the ass. We need to prevent this texture from... being null. So that is a big problem. Loading is false and loaded. The texture is null. What I don't want to do is every frame, 120 frames per second, we don't want to make another network request to re-download that image because it's going to literally do that 10,000 times for you. It needs to be caught before we actually call draw button. Which is super frustrating. Because inside of here as well, if it's pulling from this feature products textures, let's follow that. When do we actually do this? So when we initialize Filebase, we grab all the featured products. We grab all the featured products. And then, what do we do with that? We go to featured products list, featured products. This is the asset list. So for x equals 0, x is less than the featured products. For however many products, if x is equal to 1, then it's we do list type add stuff. If featured products x products count is greater than the amount config, amount equals the featured products amount. Featured products x name, this is for the buttons. Featured products that count is greater than 4, left button. So moving left, moving right. Featured products, name. Featured products, let's see, while left bound, yada yada, is just removing. And then here we draw each button based on the asset ID. Crap, that is, man guys, that is annoying. I'm just gonna, I don't want to touch, I really don't want to, I don't want to mess with anything related to these tasks. I really don't. Let's see. Alright, let's see here. We have a task of product. We're going to load product based on that product. When you load a product, for however many product images we have, we're going to create a task to grab each one. And then here, we wait for all the tasks to be done. We array them. And then product image text equals new texture 2D. The products, product images.count. And then here we go through each. For int I equals 0, I is less than however many text lengths we have, so however many images. We try to say access each product, access each image texts equals text to text 2D. Oh, okay, hold on actually. Texture 2D is where you take in a texture. If text equals null, then we do nothing. Texture 2D new text, we text it, you set the pixels. New text apply. This could be failing. I think this may be what Sam was talking about. This could be failing. New text apply as a texture 2D. Set the pixels. New text applies. If new text equals null, could not get texture. But we're not getting any of those logs, so that's why I don't believe it is null during this. We'd be getting logs when you see those black boxes. Let me see. Let's see. Turning, downloading, converting, it's never null. Let me go back to that. What was that? It's only null when we access the feature products, or let me go to this one, where we access window data. Curl window. Hey, Al, are you still? If Al's still in here, have you ever had this happen on the actual assets pages, or is this only on the front page? Does it happen when you're actually on the assets pages, or is it just the featured products? So let's see. Yeah, don't recall it searching in Vappits. I think. Yeah, it's happened in assets before too. I'm pretty sure I've seen it happen in assets too. Yeah, let's see. Featured products. Trying to think, what could we do? What's annoying about this error is that where this should be occurring, it doesn't occur. It should be getting screwed up in this area here. We should be detecting that the texture is null during the task, and that's the problem. It's not null. It doesn't become null until a different point in time. Specifically this point in time, right? So when we draw these, this featured product here is somehow null, but that shouldn't be the case because it successfully ran through a moment before the network interface, and it went through downloading all the textures. So and only once it actually successfully tried to draw the button is it passing in a null texture. And I don't believe it's an out of bounds range. Like this asset ID, I'm assuming is correct because there's no actual errors. So I don't know. That's so strange. Holy shit. Let me see something here. Hey Al, check your messages. All right. Wow, I don't know. I'm like out of blank, guys. I really don't know how to approach this without severely debugging the task system here that we have, which is going to be a nightmare, and I'm not looking forward to doing that. Especially like right now, I've already been. I wanted it to be so easy. I was hoping it would be. I was hoping I could just create a queue of failed images and just reload them, but I can't because this thing right here, this method is called 120 frames per second, and it's passing in a null texture. And I don't know why it's doing that. It should not be doing that. And the fact that I can't replicate this easily is also another problem. I don't know. You know what? Actually, hold on. Let me. I do want to test something here. Let me. Yeah, let's change this real quickly to a null texture. That way, everything should technically just be black. Alright, doesn't like that. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So we can't make everything null because now it's trying to convert null textures, and it can't. Can't do that. Let's see, guys. I really wish I could just like throttle the network here. Damn, I'm like at a blank here. This should not be null, or this should be null, and it's failing to log this. So let's go here, to get texture result, we say that, how do we use this? Get texture results, texts, so textures, we wait for all of them to come back. And then here we literally take each texture that we have. We do this text to texture 2D conversion. So the texture wasn't null, but maybe it is null. Although we checked to see if that texture was null here, it's not. And then actually, maybe it actually is. Let me see here. If we can, let's do. Just add a log in here. It's going to be text to text 2D. Because then we create something based off that new text. Okay, or that text. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Dag? We are bug fixing. Oh, I want a black box, please. Cool, see you, Ben. Dude, it's such a pain in the ass. Sec. All right, let me see something here. What a pain in the ass this is, guys. Damn. All right, I think we might do that thing again where I'm gonna make a beta build here, and for those watching, you guys can help me. You can help me test this. I just need to get the black box. I need to see the logs for when the black boxes occur. Here, let me clean this up. We don't need to know when it successfully downloads an image. We obviously know that's happening. We have a log for the texture is null. And we have a log for downloading image. We don't need that. All right, here we go. We're gonna make a test build here. Give me a second. Alrighty, so if anyone would like to download this beta build here, today's 12:20 at 1:49 p.m. Good deal. All right, all you have to do, you're going to take this DOL file, you're going to go into your file base, you're going to remove the DOL that you have, and then you just you swap it in with this one. Here, actually, you know what? I'm gonna force, because I don't think there's any broken issues with Filebase. We're just debugging right now on this. I might just actually upload this, so everyone can just open Filebase and get this. I think that would be fine, because this has the what is it? This has the updated. It has the updated fixes, but also let me see here. Oh, I thought I removed those. Nope. All right, here. Actually, here I'm not gonna swap it out right now because I gotta change the version number to do that. So I don't want to do that. Although, I suppose we could. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Alright, it's going to be 4.05 for Filebase. Alrighty, here we go. Alright, time to update. Version 4.04 is out. You're rocking a pretty old version. Good deal. All right. Give me a second here, and then everyone can open Filebase, and you will be able to. Let me see here. Everyone will be able to open Filebase and get this update. So give me a second here. Let me make sure I'm not gonna wipe away anyone's current downloads. Hold on. Not gonna include downloads. And then okay, this all looks good. I'm gonna delete 3D here, just the plugin. And this is Filebase 4.0. What was it? Filebase. Hang on. Let me log in here and I can get it. All right, I'm logging into our AWS portal. I gotta upload this package. Give me a sec. Filebase asset hosts. And we are on version 4.0.5. It's pretty crazy. All right, that should be good. And then lastly, I just gotta open up this. Hang on. I have to update our version number on the server. All right, let me see here. All right, should be good. Open this up. Can't connect to the server because it's not public. Give me a second. It's annoying. AWS like modified some of their UI. And for object URL, bucket properties. Okay, so if everyone opens up Filebase, just go to filebase.kimdev.com, download Filebase, open it up. It should prompt you to update to this version here. And if you get those black boxes, it should give you some debug.logs down here, as well as in your logging console. So it'll be super helpful if anyone wants to try and get a black box now. And then let me go ahead here. I'm just going to remove this plugin here, re-put the source code back in. Alright, let's go back into Filebase here. Let's see, Filebase just crashed on me. Let's see, you're getting a crash. Should not be getting a crash. Are you getting a crash before I made it like working? Or is this is this after? Let me see here. Oh, is it still crashing for you, or what's the crash you're getting? Crashed when tried updating. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure that file is public. 1 second. Thank you. Hold on. Hold on. That is 4.0. My bad. Give me a second here. This will fix that. All right, give it a try now, guys. Try updating now. So, and then you guys should have the ability, this should be, okay, working good. And then you should be able to search for guns, and you see all your guns, plural. Yeah. All right. Now, when anyone gets a black box, first one to get it, just post out that you got it, and basically, if you can, take a screenshot of like a Calendly link or something, or not Calendly link, a share X link or whatever it is, tiny URL, of the error logs, or print or paste whatever the actual error messages are, so we can track down exactly what's happening here. All right, sweet. Al got a black box. Al, you should see some logs in the console. You see debug.logs in your console? Go ahead and paste everything that you're getting. If you want to take a screenshot for me, I'll pull it down. You can send it to me in messages, and I'll display it over here once I get it downloaded. So you should see in your console in the editor log messages. What's the messages say? And again, if you're trying this, you can just repeat, just keep hitting the tilde key. The tilde key restarts Filebase and launches it. It's a little squiggly icon. Okay. I think so. Let me check. Okay guys, so here's Al's image. So let's see here. Asset manager, text to text is null. So holy shit, guys. Not gonna lie. Sam was actually right here. Let me see here. All right, so it is null during the conversion process. That's what Sam suggested. So that's awesome. So here, the product texture is null for product subway ceiling 01, floor 01, gate 0102, null for, you got a whole bunch of stuff. All right, good. And it happened here. You can see 47 tries. The text-to-text 2D is null. So basically what that means is that the texture itself that we downloaded from Filebase is not null. When we convert it to a texture 2D, it is null. And we do that. Let me see here. Where do we do that? That's inside of, I believe, the network manager or asset manager. We have a method here called text-to-text 2D. This texture is null. Actually, no, hold on. Actually, that's a little backwards. According to Actually, I don't know if this fixes anything. If anything, this is more unknowns because it says here text to text 2D, the texture is null. The texture that we want to convert is null. And where do we call this from? We call this from our marketing stuff, our product images texts. So here I'm passing in the textures that I got from our downloading of all of them, and some of them are null, but the get texture results from the get image thing here did not detect that. Let's see. Oh, you didn't get any of this log. You didn't get network interface, no image found. So weirdly, it's not null here, and it gets null. It gets null when you pass it into that method. It makes no sense. That's annoying. Let's see, where is that? Text 2D. We pass in the textures that we got from the tasks. So some of them are null inside of here. That's annoying. So when we receive that texture, it's already null. So we can't even try to build a new texture off of it. Let me see here. Let's see. There's an article. Give me a sec. Alright, let's see. Convert texture to texture 2D takes a lot of time in Android devices. I have a function that converts RGB texture, yada yada. Texture to texture 2D takes in a texture and a texture 2D. Texture equals null. Texture is null. Doesn't really help us. Nah, it doesn't really help us. The problem with us is that we're passing in a null texture that wasn't flagged as null. Question is, why is that the case? So here we get all the texture results. We're waiting for every task that I just ran, and I'm grabbing the value, which is the image, right? So you can see here in the dictionary that the value is the return of that get image. So what this means here is that somehow we're getting null for the value. It should not be null because it never got flagged here that it's null. It literally makes absolutely no sense. Trying to think what could make it null. So for every product that we have, we create a new task to be generated. The result of that task goes into the value box here, right? So key value pair, and then here we're grabbing all the values and I'm putting it into an array so that we can convert each of those to a texture 2D so that we can actually draw it on Filebase. Somewhere in that process, though, something is getting returned, which leads me back to this. Honestly, it's back to this get image function, where it is absolutely failing to hop in here, but it's null. You know, I have a really hard time believing that it's not null. And what's really odd too is it's not consistent. So like owl, for example, when it happens to me for like 2 of them. It looks like it happened for owl on literally like all of them. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got 12 black squares. I mean, that's so inconsistent. One of the things maybe we could do is the fact that we are able to catch it null kind of early on, right? Before it's trying to draw it constantly. Because if we look here, how many times did that null get called? This here, text is null, was called 47 times. So it's not calling it over and over again. So technically, we might be able to restart the process of trying to download from there. So we know that, hey, it's null here. So if we know that it's null here, we might be able to, this is where we restart the process. The problem though is, I guess maybe actually I could do what I initially want to, right? This might be where I can actually build a queue of what's missing. Possibly. Because let me see, do we know which assets failed, right? So product texture is null for product subway gate 1. Where does that log come from? I think that's, oh, that's in the draw button, I think, right? Yeah, product texture is null for product name. So here's the problem. So we don't actually know what product is null until after the fact, which is unfortunate. I have no way of detecting inside of that text unless I pass in it more information to that method, because here it's already too late. I may be able to save it during these 47 calls before we get on to 1500 calls. So let's see something here. Here, if our text is null, what else can we pass into this method? Might be able to pass in information about the product itself, which we can do. Let's see. We have access to the products, so we would be able to tell what was null. If I wanted to pass in, for example, I would be able to say something like products This is going to be products, and then we're on the current text, whatever texture value ID you're on for that. And then be able to get the product ID. Oh, I need an index actually. So it would be products. Oh, okay. I have the current product actually here. Product images. The current product that we're working with, I believe. I would be able to get the name. Try and see if that's going to be the best solution here. Oh, God damn. Alright, we've been streaming already for 3.5 hours. I might need to think about how to approach this, because I think the idea scenario is to build a sort of queue system where this is the spot that I can detect what failed, and I can rerun those, is what I'm thinking. But I don't know, I'm getting a little fried here. I'll think about it, and then I'll go live and do this again live, because I think it's a good idea so you guys get, allows me to have you guys kind of input ideas and brainstorming. So cool. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Everyone have an awesome rest of your day or evening, and I'll see you guys later when I hop back on. I'll post in the Discord when I think of an idea to fix this.